Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. I just interrupted our guest. We were having a riveting conversation before being live with you all today. My name is Rebecca Chaplin, and I work with AARP in the Mountain Region. And I will have the opportunity of speaking with Alyce Knaflich today, who created and developed the Aura Home for Women Vets. So I'm excited every moment I talk to Alyce, I learn something new. And I hope you do too. Today's event is the first in a series that is related to uplifting and helping you as a community see some of those organizations, nonprofits that serve veterans throughout North Carolina. Alyce, we were just talking about the real problem of homelessness for many people, but especially for women vets. So tell us a little bit about the Aura Home for Women Vets. Tell us about the organization in general. What do you do? What's your mission?
Our mission is to help any women veterans that need assistance with housing. We like prevention is our main goal. If we can keep them where they're at, if they're happy where they're at, we keep them where by help them pay rent, utilities, and things. But if they're already fallen out, been evicted, or what have you, then we help them with get them in the hotel if we need to, or the transformation village if they're eligible for that, or into the VA's programs, supportive housing, or the HUD-VASH program. So we do that as quickly as we can if they're already homeless.
Yeah.
And we'll put them up for a hotel for a week at a time until we get them into one of these programs, and hopefully a week will do it. Um, and then like I said, prevention is a big thing. A lot of times the car may break down. We'll help them fix their car up so they can continue going to work. Because going to work is your paycheck, and that pays your bills. So there's a whole culmination of things that can happen to make you homeless.
Yeah.
So you just got to take each person as they come and what their needs are, and then you have to initially take care of their immediate crisis, and then you dig deeper and find out what else we do. Can we help uh, manage your money better, fix your credit, better credit scores, or increase your income? Maybe there's some VA benefits that you haven't tapped into yet, and then also look at decreasing their debt.
That's a lot. I mean, like you said, everything relates to everything else, and that homelessness or how home security, having a secure home might just be the tip of the iceberg or the symptom of many other problems. So, how do you do all that, Alyce? You're just one person. That's a lot of a wide spectrum of services. How many people work at the Aura Home for Women Vets?
Well, I have a few volunteers that help me here and there, but mostly I manage most of it. Um, it's educating the veteran on what is available to them, where they can access the resources, and just letting them know where to find the information they need. A lot of
Hmm.
times they can manage themselves,
Hmm.
but if they can't, I am willing and able to take them, do our chaperone service to the VA. I've taken a number of veterans to their claims. They had an appeals hearing. I would sit in there with them and help them and guide them in what they need to say and do, because it's it's the terms that you use, whether or not it clicks. VA looks at certain terms that have to be stated a certain way uh, for them to consider your claim. So it's you just can't do. I don't recommend anyone to try to put in a service connected claim by themselves. I recommend go to veteran service officer and get started there.
It's like you have a PhD in veteran social work, Alyce. But I know you don't really have that from a school, but you have it from the School of Life. What's your background and what brought you to developing the Aura Home for Women Vets?
Well, serving in the Army for just under 20 years,
Wow.
I've developed a great desire and discipline and leadership skills working with my soldiers. I held a position as sergeant major at one point,
Wow.
so I had a lot of people underneath me, and there's all kinds of issues and things come up, and you learn how to handle them. And if you can't handle them, you find someone who can help. So I already had sort of like a background being in the military, taking care of soldiers. And then when I get out of the military, I finished my college, when I started to work, and I lost my job. First time I ever lost a job. I mean, it was just like, you're fired. And I went, what? Well, that's because I had PTSD, undiagnosed PTSD when I got out of service. So when the VA and got diagnosed, they they say, oh yeah, you got PTSD and blah blah blah. We'll give you service connection, blah blah blah. And then I was supposed to get compensation, and that didn't happen because I got out on a special separation benefit. And they said, if there's a little clause in there, that if you ever claim service connected disability, you have to pay that money back. So my compensation I should have been receiving was going to paying off this amount. Then I'm told also I'm not allowed to work anymore. So no income, you know, what do? You end up selling everything you ever owned, um, and you just start living on the street after a while when you can't pay rent or anything anymore. You can't live like a normal American, and they just I ended up picking up bottles and cans off the ground and cashing it in to get a few dollars to buy food. So that was lasted me about almost 10 years of just roaming the country homeless.
Wow.
Uh, until I finally, my rating went up to 100%, and I was finally getting enough money that I can afford rent somewhere.
Wow.
And at that point, I also got involved with veteran service organizations and volunteering at the VA. I did volunteer at the VA for 12 years. Um, but, but by being involved with the VA system and the military again, um, when the VA came out with saying we're going to take all the homeless veterans on the street and get them housed. That was right about 2007 when they were coming out with that. That was when I was merging out of my homelessness. I says, well, I've been there, done that. I am merging out of it. I can help people. So I went to a local nonprofit that was housing veterans, and I asked to talk with the women because I wanted to specifically help the women because I know their situation from the military, and got involved. Started a cook team, did some case management, started getting involved there. Um, Being connected with the VA as I started chaperone service for women veterans who was fearful to come into their appointments. They didn't want to be surrounded by a whole lot of men. They felt uncomfortable. Um, um, Cat calls, and you stand in line as uh, Mr. So and so. They call him Mr. So and so, and you're a female, and or are you here with your father or your brother or whatever?
Wow.
No, I'm the veteran. I'm here for my health care. So, and then also taking women into like the VSO when they put in their claim in for military sexual trauma. Most of the veteran service officers are men. So that is a very hard thing for a woman to talk about their experience with sexual trauma in the military to a male
Yeah.
if they were sexually harassed by a man. There has been issues where women raped women too. It's very rare, but it also happens. But so getting the woman veteran the treatment they need, because a woman could go to get treatment for MST and don't have to have a collection claim in or anything. They just have to acknowledge that they have had sexual trauma, and they get counseling. So please approach the VA and start getting some treatment.
So you can one of the issues you recognize can contribute to homelessness is the trauma of abuse or any other PTSD, and so part of what you do is go with people to the VA when needed. And yeah, you started that volunteering at the VA when you worked at the VA.
Yes,
the
yeah, I
chaperone?
volunteered. Yeah, I started that there. I started out working with the patient advocate's office.
Hmm.
We were doing surveys, telephone surveys, as a patient comes in, let's say after surgery. Then you call them up and say, how's your experience? And there was a number of questions we asked them to for a customer satisfaction survey, what it was. And I got really involved with that because a lot of the patients, there was no follow up. They get new medications and stuff, or they get released from the hospital and they get on the medications and they're either taking it incorrectly, or not taking it, or it was having some kind of reaction to it. And if there was no follow up, patient could have been severely damaged, or in some cases could have died. Especially if they didn't have a caregiver or someone watching after them after they got out of the hospital. So I made that a very big point at the VA, that we need to follow up on these
Hmm.
appointments, especially when you change a medication or just had heart surgery and you don't follow up. Come on. Um,
So it sounds like there's a significant role for volunteers to support the existing
yes.
infrastructure. And I mean, if you're like me and you're watching this, you're thinking, what can I do? What's mine to do in terms of supporting this
Mhm.
community and being of service to those who served. So I want to put up your website. You mentioned that you have volunteers who work with the Aura Home, and you are the only you're a volunteer as well, aren't you, as the director?
Yes, I am. Yeah, there's no paycheck here.
There are few people with a mission and vision and purpose this true and real, Alice. It's such an honor to be with you and to feel that. So if people watching want to volunteer and be a part of this mission and vision, could they just go to the website or give you a call, Alice? What are the steps?
Sure. They go either way. And we'll talk and sit down and see where you can fit into our programs with your specific talents or wants to do's. I got a lot of people like to do mentorship, or just deliver goods. I About every quarter I like to send out goods to the women I've been supporting. I've also, after we help them, I follow them for a year afterwards, and I help them with little things like personal care or house where or house goods, the just to keep them going, and just let them know that someone still cares out here.
So is that a need? I was just going to ask you, what is the need right now for or a home to help get goods to people or services to people who need them?
Yeah, I could use some drivers to take things to different places because we
Drivers.
cover 9 counties now, and it's a little much for me by myself. So I'm listing some volunteers to help distribute the goods. So, and we're getting ready for the holidays. Veterans Days next week, and the Thanksgiving and the Christmas and all this things going on. We always like to get a lot of things out. I have a lot of organizations that donate things to us, so we can distribute to the women.
What
Um,
kind of goods do you need? For what kind of goods do the women need, either for the
well,
holidays or in general?
Well, yeah, they like the little holiday things. I have one organization that buys things for all the children,
Mm,
and they, I go ask what sizes and stuff because the children grow like weeds, so we get updated on the sizes and that. Um,
I see.
but I have right now everything coming in. Probably I need a little bit more on the household things, and I'm talking about household things is like cleaning products, whatever, your pine sols, those kind of things. Those are quite expensive to keep your house clean. Rags, buckets, mops, brooms, things like that to keep the household clean. Um, that's
That's
about it.
great. Good specific items that if someone wants to contribute but they don't have the time, that maybe those are specific items that can help people maintain a home and be secure in their housing situation, feel like they like their home, they're proud of their home, and they're taking good care of
Yeah.
it. What is the vision? What's the future for Aura Home? What do you see and what are you working towards right now?
Well, the future is completing reservations on the building that we purchased in Henderson County.
Yay.
And we got the roof on, we're getting the electrics installed. Then we work on the bathrooms because of COVID brought out a lot of things about housing homeless. And now they're talking about one room, one bath. So we had to make an adjustment on the architect plans because we were just going to do a Jack and Jill for the toilet and the shower. Now we're going to have to put in a toilet and shower for each room.
Wow.
So that, but we have the room for it. I mean, we could. It just has to be an adjustment on the architect plans, and then get the contractor to redesign his plans. So yeah, it slowed us down a little bit, but you know what? It happened at a time that we could make that adjustment easily without because we already did that piece. Then we had to redo it,
Right.
which I guess timing was pretty good then because now we know fully uh, one bath, one bedroom. That's the plan is get that open. We hope to have it open in 2023.
Wow.
But yeah, it all bases on the funding coming in.
And so that
And
facility will be a shelter for female vets.
yeah, kind of a transitional type shelter. Yes, and we work on programs. We'll have in-house staff living there
Wow.
to manage the house. And we plan to have a couple of social workers, a peer support. Um, the get some money in here, get an actual director that gets paid, and some office staff to support these various programs that we're doing. Yeah, we're planning to really get big. We plan also to have 12 women in this house. We will have a exercise room, a classroom, two offices, one for counseling, one for the director. We plan to have gardens and on the outside and sitting areas because we're adjacent to a nature preserve, so they can watch the ducks and the turtles and things in there. So it's really a great location. It's only a block away from the main highway where you catch bus, and there's another park on the other side of the street. Grocery stores, restaurants, and other businesses are around that for possible employment.
Hmm.
It's just a wonderful location.
If anybody can manifest this vision into reality, it is you, Alice. If you're watching today and you feel inspired, I just want to remind you to just check out Aura Home Women Vets. Go to their website, make a phone call. We have some pretty awesome people across the state doing amazing work, even during trying times, and bringing light into a really shadowy experience and dark experience, difficult experience for some people. And so, thank you for being one of those people. I'm proud to know you and work with you, Alice. Is there anything else that you would like for those watching to understand or know today? Anything else you want to share?
Yeah, I'll just let you know there's some 86,000 women veterans that live in the state of North Carolina. And according to the latest homeless stats, 14% of women veterans are considered homeless or at risk of homelessness. So if you do the math, that's like 12,000 women veterans in this state that are
12,000.
homeless. And our bed space, Transformation Village has 20 beds for women veterans compared to 244 at the Veterans Restoration Quarters. We plan on increasing that by about 50%, 20 beds and to add 12 beds to that. Um, a hard thing is people aren't looking for women veterans. They're not bringing them out. I think some women veterans aren't even recognizing their service to their country. They don't want to admit to it for a lot of reasons. And that's a hard thing. That's a hard sell to try to sell the VA for someone that doesn't want to participate. And the other thing is in our area, the 9 counties that I serve, I just added them up, and I'm using the 2020 U.S. Census numbers of veteran population. There are just under 5,000 women veterans in the 9 counties that I serve. And according to the 14% homeless, there are 697 homeless women veterans in the 9 counties I serve. So where are they at? Let's find them. Let's ask your neighbors, your church people. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. How are you doing? You know, how's your home situation? Are you living in an intimate partner violence situation, domestic violence, doubled up, tripled up with family members or friends? There's help out here. The VAs of here and other organizations are available that run the VA programs, Homeward Bound and ABCCM. Okay, they have the federal funding coming in to those programs to help veterans that are homeless or at risk of homelessness. All right, that's it. And Aura Home's here. Aura Home will direct you in wherever direction you need to go.
Yeah. Um, so this series, Serving Those Who Served, is lifting up and shining the light on people like Alyce Knaflich and those who are there to assist. Like you said, Alice, where are they at? And let's find those individuals and support them in being supported after they've served our country. So I want to thank you, Alice, for being here today and let those watching us know that AARP has an easy to go to website where you can find resources, information. I know Alice and I have talked about how do we make sure people know how to sign up for Social Security and Medicare and some discounts that are for veterans. So I wanted to flash up this screen for a moment, this URL, and I hope that people continue to come back every week in November. We will be moving it around the state of North Carolina and meeting wonderful people like Alice. So until then, we'll say goodbye and share this broadcast. Share it on your page. That's how social media is so successful at spreading the good news. Okay.
Thank
Bye
you,
bye.
Rebecca. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
AARP. Thank you.